then eventually I just realized, basically I like sports and it was a good conversation. Somebody asks you, what do you do? You say, I work in sports. Whoa, that sounds amazing. But I just realized, like, am I happy in the day-to-day process? Do I only like game days or do I like coming into the office? You know what I mean? And I just had a realization, like, maybe not, you know? And then COVID happened. And so literally there's nothing to do. Started my own podcast. And I remember I dropped my first podcast and remember listening. I was like, it's not that good. But I had people coming up to me like, yo, you have no idea how much that impacted me. And then I just started, and even before that, I would get my phone out and just do some motivational words on my story. You know, I just thought maybe a couple people judged me for it, probably like, what are you doing? And I wasn't that good, but I was all right. Yeah. And every now and then it would resonate. And then I got this call from one of my boys. He was like, you have no idea. I went back to my high school after I dropped my first season of my podcast, which was just me speaking. I dropped 10 episodes, How to Find Your Passion. I come back to my high school for a homecoming. I didn't even know I was going to be in town for the homecoming. Happened to be there, went to my high school homecoming. Yeah. Saw a kid that was a freshman when I was a senior on my baseball team. Okay. And I said, oh, what's up? We talking. He was like, bro, you know I changed my major because of you? He said, bro, I was going to do a totally different major, but I knew what I was passionate about. I heard your podcast. Now I'm doing it. And I'm just like, okay, I got something. And then I just realized, and this is a very blunt moment, but I just realized towards like my junior, senior year that people were making money speaking. Yeah. And I thought I was better than them. Or at the very least, I knew I could do just as good of a job. And so I was like, okay, if that's possible by that person, no shade, I can do it too. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so then I ended up having a real job post-graduation. And then, and this is we could go more in depth if we want to, but literally, I ended up having to make a decision. I asked my dad, could I come back home and go for my dream? He said, I don't suggest it, but you can. That's a good job you got right there, man. And you're living in DC. You probably should just get the money. Yeah. But I just knew in my heart, I could just feel it in my gut. I could feel like God talking to me like, bro, this is what you're meant to do. And I was just like, I'm gonna go for it. And it was like one of those things where it's like so scary because it's like, I'm really an adult now. Like I don't want to screw my life over. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I had to think, okay, what if, you know? You know, do I want to deal with that question for the rest of my life? Right. And I realized I'd rather go for it and fail and at least know. Yeah. And that's how I got to it. Got a couple mentors that did it. I'm super thankful for, that helped me along the way. Got lucky enough to let my old high school, let me speak for the first time and record it. That's still my demo video to this day. People see my demo video on my website and think I was in the game for a long time. Dude, that was the first time I spoke professionally. Wow. And that's still my demo video.
So was that just telling them kind of your story and everything, and kind of just because you were a kid from that school, like they just kind of
off the trust so like the basketball coach at the school, I've known him since I was little because I was always affiliated with my high school. My dad actually worked at the high school I went to school, so I always knew everybody. So my high school is like family, and so I would just. It's funny because my dad, when I'm starting my speaking business, I couldn't get a school to say yes. I was trying to speak for free. I just need somebody to let me speak so I can get on camera and then I can start my business. And my dad, every day I would come home, he was like, you need to just go back to your school and do it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it in front of my old teachers. And then my cousin still goes to my old high school and I go there for a volleyball game. And I see, you know, one of the old coaches still at the school and he's like, Jamar, you should come speak here. Because he just asked me, what am I doing? I'm like, trying to be a speaker. He was like, come speak here. I was like, what was I going to say? No. And so, boom, I spoke there. One of the most nervous things in my life. Killed it. And then rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah. A whole bunch of other stuff obviously happened, but yeah. Crazy.
So how did you even prepare for that? Like,
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So literally.
I don't see like that. I don't know. I don't know. How.
Literally, bro. I learned, so I gained some mentors and they were like, look.
You just said that. Okay.
All you got to do, bro, is look at it as storytelling. Mm-hmm. It's not a speech. It's just 3 stories. It's like an essay. I tell people writing a speech is like writing an essay. You have your body, you have your thesis statement, and then you have 3 bodies. Those 3 bodies are just 3 stories with a lesson behind them. Mm-hmm. Boom. I was like, okay. I just found my 3 stories. It's really one big story with 3 big points in it.
Right.
Introed it, And I'd already done my podcast, and I'd already developed my philosophy of finding your passion. So I was ahead of the game. Yeah. I basically had practiced my speech 1,000 times. It was just about formatting it. And then I remember I would just go out. So where my parents live is like this space where like nobody can hear you. Yeah. And I would just go set up my phone, and I would just practice the speech over and over again for like a month. And I would just, and it was bad, man. And I was like scared. I was like, I'll get to the school and mess up. Probably once that day happened when that guy said you could come speak, from that to the next month, it was like a month span. I had the most anxiety ever because I was like, I can't mess this up. It was one of the most nerve-wracking things in my life, but I just practiced.
But like you said, it was worth it though. It was worth it.
Oh, one of the greatest feelings in the world. When you speak, bro, and then those kids come up to you saying how much you impacted them, because it just goes to show everything you went through is happening for a reason. You know?
Yeah.
One of the best feelings in the world.
Man, it's crazy how you took that risk, man.
Yeah.